It is almost 1 year for me at Cred now. यहाँ से निकल के 1 करोड़ का पैकेज लगेगा, बढ़िया सी डॉशे बैंक जाएंगे. There has always been different things you're learning from different people. Now this literature grad is damn good at R now. Even my understanding is you need to learn hands-on. We have that flexibility over here wherein you can have a lecture video scene later on. Some work can be done in 15 minutes that people take 15 days and 15 months to do. And the only difference is how fast you are with the technology. It happens. It happens at MU. It happens at Cred.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm joined by a very special alumna of Masters Union named Khyatee. She came in from a small city in Nagpur, having never stepped out of Nagpur, to getting her CA degree while at Masters Union, to becoming a more spontaneous person, to someone who, moved from being fully structured, extremely well planned, to someone who's become more spontaneous, has developed that kind of growth mindset, who came in with finance knowledge, but how do you top it up with technology to actually then enter a fintech giant like Cred, and has amazing stories to share. So welcome, Khyatee.
Thank you so much, Mark. That's a great introduction.
I have not interacted with you in the past, but this is a great way for me to get to know you and for our audience to get to know you, your journey at Masters Union, and ultimately you cracking a role with Cred, etc. So much to discuss today.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely. Thanks for making it.
These invites give me a chance to come back to Gurgaon. As much as I'm not so fond of Delhi Gurgaon, I can't now not do without this place somehow.
I know you have that love-hate relationship, right? Great. So Khyatee, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
What was life before MU like?
So I grew up in a town called Nagpur in Maharashtra.
Everybody knows Nagpur.
Do they? Yeah, the Orange City, center of the country, 0 mile, things like that. Yeah. But yes, I grew up there. I did all my education, schooling, graduation. I'm a BCom undergrad. I actually pursued chartered accountancy back there.
Oh, great.
So I am a chartered accountant from Nagpur. I did my articleship and other things there itself. Worked at a iron and steel manufacturing firm for a couple of years there itself. I was managing their operations, management, things like that. And then found out about MU and came here. First time out of my city, yeah.
Wow. And so that was the first time you stepped out of Nagpur.
Yes.
And you chose a business school which was just a year and a half old. How did that happen?
See, I don't like to do normal things in general. So my journey in life has been very spontaneous. I went on to I am a science graduate, 12th standard, with a biology, not with mathematics.
Wow.
Post that, I decided that BDS nahi karna hai, donation deke, I don't want to do MBBS. Let's do something else. Stepped into CA knowing nothing what it is. It's not like my parents, either of them is a chartered accountant or anything that's it. I'll do something. I stepped into this, did that, post that, I'm realizing, still some touch is remaining and I'm very fond of being what present is and what future is going to be. So I really wanted to do something in technology.
Okay.
And that angst brought me here, to be very honest. I was actually looking for courses outside the country or things like that, wherein there was some touch to technology with finance. And that is when I stumbled upon an interview of Pratham Mittal. Okay. And this is back before the first cohort also came up. And I had been tracking for a year and joined MU in its second cohort actually.
So you finished your CA and then joined Masters Union, or what was the story
funny
there?
Story. If you were to ask me sometime in the interview, what is your fondest favorite memory?
Yes.
Very much this classroom is where my cohort was sitting.
Okay.
And I knew my result was going to come out. So because of the pandemic, a couple of our CA exams had gotten postponed.
Okay.
So I was still pending with one group because of that and something like that. So I'd given my exam, I joined MU. And so the result was supposed to come out. And only I know that anxiety of 3 days that I've lived with. I went to Professor Bhupesh's cabin.
Sure.
I saw my result there. Video called my parents, howling, crying, doing all sorts of things. I came into this class and I'm not joking, man. I have literally hopped places and danced by myself, and I had really kind, sweet friends and like so much love that day. I can see everything, and coincidentally we were sitting in the same room, so I have
Lot of
memory of
nostalgia.
every little minute moment from that day. These guys cut a cake for me. Very, very fond memories. Amazing day.
Wow, and these are your classmates who just
Yes.
came to know you for like,
Yes.
6-8 months before that, and
Not even
having
16 months, 2 months.
2 months.
2 months into the course. Yes,
2 months
1 or
into
2
the
months
course.
into the course.
So already 2 months into the course, Khyatee got to know that she has finally become
Yeah.
a CA, and it's not an easy
tag
exam.
was there, yeah.
The tag was finally there. So Khyatee, let's go back a little where you said that you don't like doing things the usual way, and you were looking for courses outside. So what made you think that like first thing is you said that technology is what you were focused on. Like why were you so focused on technology, and why do you think that some of these international courses or courses with some other MBA schools did not fulfill your criteria?
Fair enough. Why technology? Because the person I was doing my articleship with in Nagpur, 3 months we have to, 3 years we have to do a articleship for CA. My principal made me understand and taught me that some work can be done in 15 minutes that people take 15 days and 15 months to do. And the only difference is how fast you are with the technology.
Yes.
That is something that was 3 years. This is what I learned. And I was very sure that I want to do something in this. I don't want to do the monotonity things. So I started finding more qualifications or at least skills that could build me and I could be different from the league. And that is how I started looking for it. Was I looking for something specific? Not really. But yes, to understand technology so that if someone gives me 4 words of things, I'm not like, what did you say? Wait, I need to Google. Let me come back. Today, working at an organization like Cred, if I would not know what an API integration is, if I would not know how a funnel works, what are these different jargons, I'm not sure if they would be very comfortable bringing me in and like teaching me everything from the scratch, because today's engineers do know these things, right?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, they don't know the P&L balance sheet like a finance graduate would. If I come up with a mix of both, just the basic understanding of one thing but core in the other, it's a good combination to have.
Wow, fantastic. So talk to us, Khyatee, about this journey of upskilling yourself and making yourself tech savvy in Masters Union, and how did Masters Union enable that for you?
I will still not call myself tech savvy, but yes,
journey.
what I mean to say with the technology part that I keep reiterating is I at least know how it is done. So for when I have a team, if I'm coming to a MBA college, I certainly am planning to be a part of a team and not just be a minuscule analyst on it probably. Sorry for my words. But what I mean to say is, if there are 4 people helping me execute something and I don't understand what they are doing, then it is going to be a lot of timeline different. My TAT is never going to be what it actually should be.
Sure.
I would have a different idea of how it works, and these people would be working in a very different way. Whereas if I just know how it is done, even if I'm not executing it, I know that this thing can be done in 4 days and need not take like 4 weeks to be done. That makes a lot of difference. Today's applications like Jira or Scrum Masters, a lot of it is basically just making the right use of time, executing things on time. And so, yeah, this is where I'm coming from, and this is what I wanted to communicate. So.
Great. So Khyatee, tell me, like, when you entered Masters Union, when you got to know that you've been accepted, what was your vision that, what after this? What did you come in as with your career? Like, what was the career goal that you came in with?
Again, very spontaneous person. So, my career goals cannot be 5-year, 10-year down the line. It has to be like next few years. So, when I came into Masters Union also, my idea primarily was ki I should understand what is happening in the ecosystem so that tomorrow when, like, Masters Union give you a chance to have classes with people like Nitin Gaur, who is a blockchain expert at IBM. This man is flying down all the way from the US to take like 12 hours with you. the only idea here is that you have some insight into what is happening in the ecosystem.
Yes.
You need not be a professional in it. Of course, I have friends who understand Web3 and blockchain to the level where they can make real benefits out of it, but it's not like I never did. Because if I know some things of it, why we are doing this, how I can build my own ecosystem in this ecosystem, I think that in itself is a big thing. So coming back to your question, my goal was to know new things. And I think I've achieved that goal very, very well.
Fantastic.
So
it's that
and next
exposure.
would be, yes. So my next goal would be what can I do coming out of Cred, which is a little different, but at the same time I can use what I have built here.
Very, very, I think that's a very critical thing, right? That it's not critical to go in depth of everything, but at least knowing what's happening, like what's the cutting edge new thing that, you need to upskill yourself with. So that is something that you did. And like you said, that the classes, the kind of professors, they helped you gain that exposure. So Khyatee, maybe talk about your favorite class, or, some challenges, something unique that made you feel that, oh, wow, something like this exists in MU. So talk to us about that a little bit.
So many things, Mac. But yes, to list down a few, one of my favorite professors is Professor Raghav Shah. He taught us marketing analytics.
Okay.
He taught us the software called Kaim. I had no clue. Like, again, I'm coming up to you saying this time and again, softwares I don't understand. And now in today's day and age, I'm realizing that they've made everything very easy. You don't have to hard code anything.
Correct.
You have an interface for it, and you can just pick up things, link them, and make a very nice study out of it, right? So the way this professor has taught us is, and you could go up to him and say, Professor, I did not understand this, and like probably I'm coming for the third time with the same question, with the same elegance, with the same tone. He would explain you the same thing and ask you again, did you get it now? Like linear progression, probably 3 times the professors have taught her. Professor Nandini started, then another professor taught us, then again Raghav Shamsar taught us. But like they were never exhausted with us because they understood the fact these people are not coming from a technical background. So let's handhold them. Hand-holding here is the thing that I would... Professor Raghav Sham, Professor Thomas Kurvilla. So again, this was our strategic management professor flying down all the way from Middle East. Meg to have attended these people in person, and I had the good fortune of hosting Professor Kurvilla also in a fireside chat. You could hear them, and like if you have received any part of their gyan or their words and like reaped anything in your head, it is enough for you to know ki if you have understood this, maybe you can build something on what you are understanding. You need not be a proficient in what they are teaching. You can be a proficient in anything and everything, but you need to choose that thing. And difficulties.
And that's like a massive mindset shift, right?
Yes.
That just feeling that I'm ready for just anything and everything. It's about putting time and effort to it, and I can do it.
Difficult thing would be, again, the same old technology. But yes, because it is extensive. It is a program that is extensive. It is a little technical heavy, but it is not heavy on terms of that they are asking us to code every day. But at the same time, they are giving us new softwares, new ways of doing things, how actually world is working right now. So you need to catch up. You can't just, because we have done, some days we have done Python, some days we have done R, some days we have done Power BI. So you need to, they are building your stepping stone very well, but you need to step on every stone.
Right.
So catching up is something that you need to be very proficient with. And yeah.
Got it. That's very insightful, Khyatee. And Khyatee, again, we mentioned about you working at Cred now a couple of times. But tell us about that whole journey. Like, there I'm sure a lot of opportunities that came for your cohort. How was your experience of interviewing for Cred, and what was that journey like?
Funnily enough, when the opportunity at Cred came in, none of us were actually So this is 3 months into the course. We all are still in this program where it is very extensive, like
Right.
8 a.m. to close to 7 p.m. We have been at the campus, back-to-back sessions,
Sure.
and the initial days. You're building every course's basics. The opportunity came back in November.
Okay.
And I interviewed for it.
And this was 3 months into your
3
course.
months into my
Oh, wow.
course, I have gotten an opportunity.
Sure.
And to my good fortune and luck, the opportunity came into something which is very finance oriented, but at the same time, it is at a fintech, which is Cred. Now, by God's grace or whatever it is, I fit into this thing. But of course, you have to go through interviews and things like that.
And how many rounds of interview were
I
there?
had actually kind of 3 rounds of interview,
Sure.
but like HR one was this thing. So my hiring manager himself took a long interview for me, and I think that went on for a good long time back, like 1.5 hour interview. He asked me everything: why Masters Union, how Masters Union, why now Cred, about my role, of course,
Sure.
what knowledge I came up with and things like that. And to everybody's surprise, it is almost 1 year for me at Cred now.
Wow.
Started as an intern. I was an
Okay.
intern for good 8 months, 9 months at
8
Cred.
months internship?
Yes.
How does that happen?
It happens. It happens
Okay.
at MU. It happens at Cred. And I think this is one of the best things about MU as a MBA college, because even my understanding is you need to learn hands-on. So I did that. I had a hybrid internship for a good 6 months.
Okay.
The internship break that we had from the college also is when I actually went in person as well.
So in hybrid, you were still on campus,
On campus.
doing your rigorous MBA coursework, and on top of that, you're taken an internship.
I did.
Oh wow.
Which was a lot of fun. This might sound like it was a lot, but my kind hiring manager and the college academia have been very amicable about it. Both of them. Like my hiring manager would also know that this girl is still at the college and doing her thing, but she'll do her thing whenever whatever work is given to her, she'll wrap it up whenever is the deadline. And so was the academia. If I would not be available for a professor's class, and if I've dropped them this thing, sorry professor, you see the videos. Like we have that flexibility over here wherein you can have a lecture video scene
Because
later on.
every lecture is recorded.
Recorded, exactly. So yes, I think it was very something like, I don't know how many people will have this fortunate thing to say, but for me it was, today I was learning something at MU, and I could literally see those words being used at my workplace, or
Wow.
like that ideas being executed, or something on the lines of, because we had extensive courses in product management, and these words and ideas that the frameworks that are being used here are used in actual workplaces a lot, because our PM professors were people like Shravan Tiku, people like Vevso, who came from MMT, and Tanekedia. Like these people were actually doing these things day in, day out. So in a professional background also, these things were happening day in, day out.
Right.
I could like literally pick jargons here, see them there, and see real life cases of how it is being used. And same went on when it came to my work. Like here today, I am learning about rating agencies. I'm executing some professional workings with it.
Okay.
And tomorrow I'm doing a fixed income class wherein the professor is teaching almost the similar thing. I'm like, yes, sir, I know this. Do you know what is the repo rate right now? Yeah, I know.
Wow. So that's
So-
like as blended and hands-on as it gets for you, Khyatee.
Yes, it was, and it is. I was very fortunate with this one thing. Like,
Fantastic. I think it's like a great way to just solidify everything that you're learning in both places and
Absolutely.
to build onto each other. And it's intertwined the way you leveraged your internship during Masters Union. So let's switch gears a little bit here, Khyatee. Tell me about, that journey. Then, you joined Cred. What has it been like? What has been your experience as an employee at Cred?
funnily enough, and again to my good fortune, I repeat this time and again, I joined Cred, and the role that I joined in they had just started working on that particular thing.
Sure.
So they've set up an NBFC wherein they've started raising money and things like that. The role that I work in, it started 1 year back when I joined. So I started in this role and in this particular thing at the very beginning. 3 months down into my internship, people who I was working with, external teams other than my hiring manager, actually did not know that I was an intern. I had my own responsibilities. I had my own reasons. Like I was responsible, and it was just me. There was nobody else who was responsible for things. So I had all the charge.
You're not like the sidekick.
I wasn't. Not on day one, not today after 1 year. I have always had my own responsibilities, and I was answerable. That was the biggest thing. So, yes, my journey at Cred also has been exponential. Not one day have I felt that, oh, I'm an intern here, so I have to like walk out tomorrow. My internship was like 3 months. First, it came in as 3 months.
Okay.
Post 3 months, my hiring manager, 15-20 days before the 3 months, and I think you should please continue now. You are doing this. Will you be able to do it with the college? I'm like, yes, I can do it with the college. So like, yeah, I'm sending you I'm asking the HR to send you the new offer letter.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, sure. And see, this is really nice when you are in a B school and you're getting a nice stipend sitting here. It is a lot of fun even in that way.
Sure.
So I'm like, yes. And I was working finely well. And I am making friends, acquaintance, and colleagues with people of really high order and caliber. Even at Cred, the people that I'm working with, without like saying so-called qualifications, of course, they're IITians and people from all sorts of consulting firms with experiences of 7 years, 8 years and things like that. They see you as an equal. Alongside teaching you, they ask you questions. Do you think this is right? Which was a very
like
big
they care
deal.
about your opinion.
Exactly. Which was a very big deal for me coming from, I hadn't until then participated in a MNC or a proper corporate culture. So for me, this was a very nice shift. And at the same time, like as much as I was enjoying it, I was feeling very responsible also about it. So yes. So from then to today, I have worked in just a 3-people team, and I have had the sole responsibility, and not sure if I should say it on the mic, so I won't, but we have raised really good money, and I have been a part of the very first rupee to the hundreds of crore that we have raised by far. So it has been great. The journey at MU and the journey at Cred, both.
I'm just like thinking, you entering in as still not having completed your CA to getting your CA while at Masters Union, learning and shifting your career. Like even though you are in finance, but it's a massive shift from being just in finance to being in a fintech, which is so fast moving and with so much opportunities and so much ownership. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you so much, man.
So Khyatee, tell us a little bit about, and I'm going back to your MU experience here. Talk to us about your class, about the diversity within the class, and how do you feel your classmates have influenced how you've grown both in MU and after MU?
Absolutely. So remember when I mentioned that I walked in hopping here when I cleared a CA, there were like 3 or 4 CAs. We were a cohort with a little less number of chartered accountants. So only those 3 people knew the feeling of finally it happening. The other people were like, what is up with her? But at the same time, it's not like they did not have that happy emotion for me. But at the same time, like, itna. So yeah. But coming back to you asking me, had I had not had the kind of diverse cohort that I've had here, it would have been really difficult to cope up with the kind of day-to-day different things that come in. Like, it is really necessary for you to have a diverse cohort, to have one day one intense finance course and on the other day having like a full stack web development course wherein you are coding on a C++ and Java, which you don't know about. And of course, your professor is teaching you for 2 hours, 3 hours a day. But at the same time, there's only so much you can get. So whatever building on it you are doing is happening at the hostel with your peers. And trust me not on this, but our cohort has been very tight about helping each other.
Right.
Whether it has been college assignments or whether it has been our assignments to get jobs. They have always been like, okay, what kind of help do you need? Do you need me to teach you something? There are people who have not taken, suppose, a Figma course, but now have to use it for an assignment.
Right.
There has been days when people have not slept for 2 days together,
Wow.
learned this thing, made their assignment on it, and then submitted it. And I have no clue about what product manager, like, to be humbly honest with you, that is a role I came to MU and heard about.
Wow.
From that to today, having my friends be product managers at like really good places, and they teaching me things. They, of course, my professors taught me, but at the same time, that happened like this. To reiterate, to like put it down my system, like this is how it works, this from this to this you goes, has been thanks to a lot of product managers here. And yes, so
Wow, it's like a very tight cohort which has helped. So it's like, if you have one product manager, one person from finance, then you have those many different streams and everybody learning from each other and excelling at all of those streams.
absolutely. Like imagine we had a friend who is coming from a literature background and a marketing this thing. But at the same time, so there has always been different things you're learning from different people. Now this literature grad is damn good at R now. Huh? And it is so nice to see that. And it inspires you to learn more, to be honest. And like, if you ask me, I had no clue what an SQL is. Today, like, I've learned it from my friends, and I am being able to draw down a query at my workplace, which I would have had to ask somebody
Absolutely,
else.
right.
For which there are dedicated people. But like, it takes 2 minutes to do it, and
Correct.
I can do it.
Wow.
So it makes a lot of difference. It makes your hiring manager feel like this person can be indispensable. And you need to be indispensable in today's day and age.
Absolutely. I'm just thinking like, power, like each of you has different power, and then
Yes.
there's like a massive superpower because
Yes.
now you know, other than your core field, like 100 other things.
And the fact is, you're so tight that
Right.
even today, when your course is ended, it is like 4 months, I can still call up a lot of people in my cohort and ask them, dude, I've been given this thing, I don't know how to execute it. Or remember, we had run Power BI, but I only understood this part of it. I need to ask you, how do you put this thing together? And they will dedicate hours and hours with you. You are on a Google Meet, on a Zoom Meet, and you're literally sharing screens, and they're helping you execute this thing.
Wow.
And one good thing that I've learned here is, I had the kind of friends who did not tell me that I'll do this for you. Who actually were like, you do it, I'll tell you how it is done.
Which is the right way, because ultimately you want to build that skill and not just, it's not a one-time effort
Yes.
where you just
Yes.
get the other person to do. And it's also not fair if I talk about
Absolutely.
the honor code of Masters Union.
Absolutely.
So very, very interesting, Khyatee. And it's very inspiring to hear. It's like this thing is just not moving out of my head. It's like no one expected you to know SQL or, these other skills. But you're like, ta-da, I just know all of it.
Yes, because if nothing, Mark, I have understood, if you know these names, if you know the very basic of it. I have had friends who are today working at JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley and places like that, who are like proper finance grads and MBAs from good colleges in India. They are going there and then realizing, oh, you need, and people there are teaching them because they understand that these people come with a prerequisite, they don't know this.
Sure.
Right? They are learning it on job. Today, when you go there with a very basic idea of this, like, okay, like, I don't have to teach you this, is it?
Right.
Or at least you know the basics so you can like keep doing it further. It makes a lot of difference. It might
does.
sound like I'm making it sound very elaborate, but any little thing that you know makes a lot of difference.
Right. I think you don't feel lost, right? Like you have that edge that, I have 10%, 20% of it. I'll figure the rest 50, 60%. And then that's good enough. Great. So Khyatee, I'm sure listening to your journey, a lot of our viewers, they might be thinking that, what had been your application process at MU like, and what kind of advice would you give to people who want to apply at Masters Union?
My application process was pretty smooth. when it came to applying. Very confused when it came to using my brain, whether I want to, how do I want to, and things like that. But one of the great things about MU application is it is very close to you applying to an international school, right?
Okay.
And at least back then, this is great thing about this place. They keep changing, and I really like the fact that they keep changing. So today the application process might be a little different as far as my understanding is. It is a lot more fun. Even the MU BAT is apparently a lot of fun, is what I'm seeing in Pratham's interviews. Back when I applied, we had to write a short note on if you were given some money, how would you invest it? Where would you invest it? In a startup or in an organization?
Okay.
Why would you do that? Now, these things you cannot make up. They don't want numbers here. X and Y company is making so and so profit or so and so revenue, and so I would like to invest. If you're doing that, there's no fun in it. They actually want to understand the business mind bend that you have, and I think that is very important when you're coming to MBA college, because communication and business acumen is what you're coming here for. You cannot start learning something from a very scratch and be like, now I'll be this person. Not at least in a 16-month program. So I really enjoyed that they knew what they were teaching, so they know what they have to ask the students for it and select the people out. So that's on the application process part. For the coming cohort also, my advice would be, please at least come up with a mindset of, this is not going to be, okay, I'm going to a school or a college, this is my timing, this is what I have to do. Tonight I'll do my homework and that is how it ends. That's not how life is supposed to work, or professionalism is supposed to work.
Right.
And this is as close as it gets to working in a real corporate, whether it is a startup or a MNC. This is as close to reality as it gets. So come up with a mindset wherein I am literally learning new things. At the same time, I am learning to live in a setup of that sort, so that tomorrow when you're going there, you adapt. Like, it made no difference to me. It made no difference going out of my college into Cred, in the real office as well, with the people, with the ecosystem. It was very similar. So yes, I would want people to come up with some ideas of what they want to do in the future, because here the things are very fast paced.
Right.
So you need some idea of, I want to switch from this to this, or improve on this, and that is how I want to go ahead with my journey. Don't come up with ideas of, this is the company that I want to join, or this is probably like, don't come up with weird ideas. Like, why would you, without saying like, I don't mean to say IIM, but like usually people end up going to an IIM because यहाँ से निकल के 1 करोड़ का पैकेज लगेगा, बढ़िया सी डॉश बैंक जाएंगे, यहाँ जाएंगे, वहाँ जाएंगे. My ideas were never like that, and joining a startup B school should also not be that. You should come for a lot of spontaneity, you should come for a lot of newness, and that is the future, is what my idea is.
Right, like go for the learning and introspection, and actually growing as an individual, rather than like having a target that I'm looking to join this company, but rather just upskill yourself. And if you do that, you'll of course also have great outcomes like you did.
Your target should be to learn new things, and your target should be, I want to come up with a role or be at a place doing something which is not something that everyone can do.
It like pushes you to grow every day, self-improve. Fantastic. So Khyatee, my last question for you would be, is there anything that you would do differently, or you regret that, okay, I should have done this more or that more, so that people who are currently doing their MBA, how can they improve their time at Masters Union? At
Masters Union. Masters Union doesn't give you the time to do that. But no, but in all fairness, if you ask me, like I mentioned to you about SQL and other things, I realized it on the job that, oh, my company is also using this, so I should also know this. So I grabbed a friend and I'm like, bro, sit down, teach me. Right? But it's not like the professors didn't. They started from the very stepping stone. There was a professor who came in, who started it, taught it to the basic level. Of course, they can only teach you so much in so much time. It was on me to take it up later in time and deep dive into it, because now I know the basics of it.
Right.
So at least if you know that this is where you want to go ahead in future, you're liking this thing, start taking it up on a personal level also, and start deep diving into it from the very beginning. Because I deep dived into thing once I realized, oh, I need this. Okay, I'll grab a friend, learn from this friend, and my friends were kind enough to teach me. I hope it works out for you too. But otherwise, deep dive into things that that you think you want to professionally excel in.
Absolutely. So, Khyatee, thank you so much for this incredible talk. And, I am personally just very inspired hearing your transformational journey from a girl who came from Nagpur, never having moved out of Nagpur. This was the first time to today leading, a department at Cred, to being very high, like to taking a lot of ownership in your work, to having grown leaps and bounds from where you were, and continuing that growth mindset outside of Masters in your workplace. So thank you so much for inspiring thousands and thousands of viewers by sharing your amazing journey.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for inviting me, folks. Thanks a lot.